Sometimes here at the studios, we film late at night, and that's when the inhibitions are down, when the cynicism flows a little more freely, when the jokes that actually don't make the air pop out. Such moments have become known at the office as Ben After Dark. So now, we've decided to let you in on the secret show behind the Ben Shapiro Show. This is Ben After Dark.
Yes. Finally.
Yeah, we're here. We're doing this thing. Well, folks, it's that time of the year again. It's the Met Gala, when all of our most cherished cultural figures dress up like refugees from the Hunger Games, but even more evil and unbelievably, even the media, those mouth breathers who pretend to love socialism but love socialist cross-dressers in $5,000 edible gowns even more, drool and cheer, and the rest of us roll our eyes. Well, this year, the Met Gala was protested by other socialists who want to eat the rich socialists. I'm here for it. Live by the woke, die by the woke. You see, the Bolsheviks always end up killing the Trotskyites. The Thermidorians always end up killing the Jacobins. And the vicious pro-Hamas mob will end up tearing down the statues of Taylor Swift. They will, in fact, slay Queen. Because here's the thing. Our elites are truly dolts. They dress up like trees, but they are dumb as stumps. They think they can keep feeding the flames of revolution without being eaten by that revolution, that they can live fat and happy off the carcass of a civilization they're busily killing, and that they won't end up being eaten themselves. Wrong. It turns out the Red Guards who love Hamas and burn the American flag would be perfectly happy to help Lizzo through a few political struggle sessions. And these celebrities who are really just living mannequins, mouthing words written by others or auto-tuning songs penned by dozens of songwriters and producers, won't be able to mouth enough platitudes to prevent the mob from tearing away their expensive costumes and then running them naked through the streets. Which is why the smart celebrities are just doing what Rita Ora did and showing up naked to start. Saves time later.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Joe Biden is confused again. I mean, like more than normal confused. Like, sure, he all over the coffee table this morning while shouting about how much he hates peanut butter, but that's like normal Biden confusion. Now he's confused about who's good and who's bad in the war between Israel and Hamas. Listen, I get it. It's really hard to determine whom to support. The terrorist group currently holding Americans hostage after killing 1,200 Jews, hiding behind their own civilian population, shooting Palestinians who try to get hold of humanitarian aid, or an American Democratic ally sacrificing the lives of its own citizens to prevent civilian casualties. It's a real toughie. But Joe Biden is particularly confused. On the one hand, he keeps saying that Hamas is bad and Israel is right to want to destroy it. On the other hand, this week he told Israel to stop attacking Hamas in Rafah and then denied Israel weapons shipments. The question is why? There are only three possible answers. One, Joe Biden's brain is now bread pudding. Now, that's plausible, but it's slightly less plausible these days because a guy who had an actual honest-to-God brain aneurysm has become the Senate's strongest Israel defender. And another guy who actually had a worm in his brain is also a strong Israel defender. Second possibility, Joe Biden wants to win Michigan, and a lot of voters in Michigan like Hamas, and Joe Biden doesn't want to offend them. Again, this is plausible because Joe Biden is a corrupt old politician. He will do anything, literally anything, in order to retain power. If that meant playing Stormy Daniels in the new version of Operation Desert Stormy, he would do it.
Oh, no.
And yes, that's legitimately a movie that she did. I mean, let's be real about this. Joe Biden would probably volunteer to do it anyway. He's weird like that. Third, Joe Biden believes, as does much of his party, that the United States and its allies are bad. That those who burn the flag are basically correct. They're just a little too passionate, which is code for they're too obvious. Also, sadly, this is kind of plausible. Joe Biden was Usain Bolt off the mark when it came to slamming Donald Trump over white supremacists marching in Charlottesville. But he's nowhere to be found when it comes to Hamas fans screaming death to America on college campuses these days. I haven't seen a disappearing act like this since Ellen Page just vanished into thin air. Whatever the reason, Joe Biden's lack of moral clarity is nearly as disgusting as the scene that greets his night nurses every single morning. Time to clean out the bedpan, ladies. We'll get to more on this in just one moment. First, can your savings weather another economic storm? Think about what you've put away for the future. Inflation can render cash worthless. Real estate can crash, as it did in 2008. A famous example of somebody who did not diversify was Bernie Ebbers, the former CEO of WorldCom in the late 90s and early 2000s, when the telecom industry faced a downturn, WorldCom's financial instability was exposed. The company had not diversified their investments. They had not created a buffer against sector-specific downturns. Things did not go well at WorldCom. Don't be like Bernie. During times of economic uncertainty or market volatility, investors tend to flock to gold as a safe haven asset. Its value tends to increase during turbulent times, providing that buffer against market downturns. This is why people are turning to gold right now. It's why Birch Gold is busier than ever. Birch Gold understands that navigating financial decisions can be daunting. That's why their dedicated in-house IRA department is there to guide you every step of the way. Birch Gold is committed to addressing your questions and concerns promptly. Their team is always ready to provide answers and clarity. Whether it's about fees, taxes on rollovers, or the timing of the process, they're here to ensure you feel valued and well-informed. Text BEN to 989898. Talk to one of Birch Gold's experts and claim your free info kit on gold. You'll learn how to convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. The best part is, it doesn't cost you a penny out of pocket. Just text BEN to 989898. That's BEN to 989898. Speaking of Stormy Daniels, she had herself a week. She hasn't had this much exposure since Young and
Oh my God.
2003. Before you ask, yes, that is on her IMDb page. She was called by the prosecution in Donald Trump's financial fraud trial this week in New York, where she flounced up onto the witness stand and proceeded to bare her soul. Quick question. Can someone have an OnlyFans if they don't have any actual fans? She actually told the story for the 100th time about how that one time at band camp, she got nailed by Donald Trump. But she changed her story on the stand. It used to be a casual and awkward quickie. Now, according to Stormy, it was a traumatic-like incident in which she, quote-unquote, blacked out. According to Stormy Daniels, Trump wore silk PJs. Then he asked her to spank him lightly with a copy of Fortune magazine. Then they had sex. But according to Stormy, quote, I didn't know how I got there. Well, since she made a living for decades having sex on camera for money, I have a feeling she knows exactly how she got there. Hint, it involved having sex for the prospect of money. Then, most incredibly, she claimed that when Trump paid her off, she didn't take the money because she wanted the money, you see. She did it out of fear, like physical fear, as opposed to taking money for sex, as she's done literally her entire career because she is a pornography actress. I'm not even being mean. I'm saying she did her job. It's difficult to say that Stormy Daniels lost credibility this week. This is a lady who spent decades faking orgasms for a living. But let's just say that her credibility, among other things, is sagging. Hey, it's her fault. Even the judge in this case, who is trying to Trump even harder than Stormy did, was appalled by Stormy's testimony. Which begs the question, so why did he even allow her testimony? We all know the answer. Stormy's testimony was not about Trump's supposed legal criminality. It was about embarrassing the president. But they're all forgetting one thing. You cannot embarrass a man who literally launched a company selling $400 gold sneakers and sold out. It is not possible. So congratulations for allowing a terribly constructed penthouse forum letter to be read aloud in court. I'm sure it will be a real moment of clarity for the jury. We'll get to more on this in just one moment. First, are you or someone you know fighting the battle against cancer? For the last 25 years, Invita medical centers have been pioneering personalized, cutting-edge treatment programs for patients all over the world. Invita has been the leader for patients looking for advanced immunotherapy and genetically targeted therapies, all while focusing on fewer side effects and better patient outcomes. As a global leader in oncology care, Invita is committed to healthcare freedom for all. They've spearheaded a revolution in employer health insurance options, empowering companies to provide their employees with access to not only top doctors, hospitals, and tech, but also first-of-its-kind nationwide personalized medicine coverage. Invita is doing all of this, plus offering significant tax and cost savings, full transparency, and liberation from the grip of commercial insurance carriers. Whether you're a patient in need or a company looking to break free of monopolized healthcare insurance, Invita could have the solution for you. To learn more about their treatment options, visit Invita.com or visit InvitaHealth.com to learn more about their company insurance programs. That's Invita, spelled ENVITA.com for treatment options, or InvitaHealth.com to learn more about their company insurance programs. As a former chart-topping rapper myself, I like to keep my eye on what's going on in the world of hip-hop and find out how much the game misses me. It would have been difficult to avoid the commotion that was Drake versus Kendrick Lamar last week. Actually, it would have been really easy for me to avoid that because I don't give a shit about either of these people. From what I can tell, Drake is some sort of Canadian rapper from Canada, which means I don't care. And apparently he popularized the term YOLO. So thanks for that, Drake. He's now in a rap battle with Kendrick Lamar, who is, I presume, also a rapper of some sort. So they are insulting each other. Kendrick called Drake short. Drake called Kendrick half white, which I assume is some sort of diss. Drake said Kendrick had fallen off. Kendrick said Drake was a pedo. Well, that escalated quickly. With accusations like that, Drake might just end up friends with Bill Clinton. Well, now it appears that a bodyguard was injured in a drive-by shooting outside Drake's Toronto home, a residence that was doxxed by Kendrick during the battle. I, for one, am appalled at my art being sullied by violence. Rap is the music of peace and love. These two artists, Drake and Frederick Jabbar, really need to get this out before rap is forever marred with a reputation for violence and sexual degradation and drug use and cruelty and stupidity. Save rap from the rappers. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.